Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ivan Light, author of Deadly Secret of the Lusitania, and I'm often asked, what are the most important relationships in this book? As I think about it, the two most important relationships have to do with Trevor and Lottie on the one hand, and Joe Albee and his wife Francine Albee on the other. And these two sets of relationships are really quite different when you look at them closely, as I've done. On the one hand, Trevor and Lottie have a modern, I call it a marriage, even though they're not technically married. They have a modern marriage, and it works. They're very successful, even though there's tensions in their relationship. And the reason they're successful is when the tensions arise, they openly acknowledge them, they talk about them, they bat it back and forth, and then they adjust their thinking so that they've actually moved a little bit in one direction or the other. And by the end of the book, despite all the troubles they go through, and they have quite a few anxiety-provoking moments, at the end of the book, they're closer together than they were at the beginning. And from a modern point of view, that's a miracle as well as a success story. Now, the picture of Joe and Francine Albee is quite different. They have a traditional marriage, and they talk to each other, but they don't really listen. They have basically like two ships passing in the night. They express their opinion, and then the other expresses an opinion, and the foghorn booms back, and nobody really changes his position. If Joe had been listening to Francine, he would have told Francine, look, Francine, you're complaining about my stealing all the time, but what about your constant request for more consumer goods? You want a new Victrola, you want a new icebox, you want a nicer apartment, you want to move to that house on Long Island. It's not going to happen unless I steal. Or, if you can't accept the stealing, then please accept the idea that we're going to live at a modest level for the rest of our life. And Francine, for her part, should have asked herself, why does Joe steal? And basically reached the same conclusion. But neither of them did this. They basically lectured each other from their own point of view. And as a result, very sad, Joe dies and Francine becomes a widow and is very despondent about it. So it appears that this failed. And from a modern point of view, that's the answer we reach. They failed. But if you look at it from a traditional point of view, viewing this as a traditional marriage of two people living under very awkward and difficult economic circumstances, it doesn't look like a failure. In fact, you can say these are two very resilient individuals, both of whom are determined to survive at any price and who do, in fact, achieve their goal. Joe, it is true, does not physically survive. He put his life on the line, but doing so, he made plans so that if he died, his family would be taken care of, and as a result of those plans, basically that's what happens. It wasn't easy, but it does happen. Francine is a lioness on behalf of those children. From the beginning to the end, she does absolutely everything she must do to protect those children. One of the things that she needs to do, most importantly, is to persuade a series of men that they need to help her. The first of these is Trevor, then comes the newsagent, then finally the racketeer, Paul Kelly. In all of these cases, she uses very traditional feminine methods to get the help that she needs. But these methods do work. She does get the help she needs, and in the end, she's engaged to marry a man richer than Joe Albee, and probably she and her kids are taken care of for the rest of their life. So she succeeded in salvaging that family in a situation which was not at all easy to deal with. So in that sense, Francine and Joe have a successful marriage.